I don't know a lot about Indian legend and mythology, apart from what I know from overly sarcastic productions and extra credits, both YouTube channels, which are very entertaining as well as informative. But this movie really piqued my interest in a culture which a lot of us really don't know a lot about. It lives inside an Indian American horror flick, which at its core is your basic evil entity is unleashed and needs to get smushed back inside whatever bottle it came out of story. But this one delves deep into Indian legend and shows us a little bit into the casual lives of people of the culture of India. At least the Hindu side. I think Ms. Marvel's got the Muslim side taken care of. Anywho, it's about this Indian American girl who wants to fit in so badly that she goes native and starts abandoning her roots, even discarding an old friend. And you really shouldn't discard your friends unless they're toxic. And the friend wasn't toxic. Unfortunately, the friend ends up roping her into a battle between good versus evil when she tries to tell her about this thing that's trapped inside of a jar. A demonic creature whose name I cannot pronounce, and I forgot how they pronounced it in the movie. But basically it's a flesh eater who can turn invisible and also feeds on negative emotions. It's like depression and anxiety made flesh. It's very, very dark. And like the Japanese entities of the Grudge, it takes 7 days to kill its target. And it's up to our young heroine to find out what happened to her former friend and get the creature back inside a container of some kind. Any kind will do, really. And overall, this was a pretty well-made movie. The young actress playing the lead, she does very well. At first, she's a little unlikable because she is just trying to fit in so hard that you really don't want to root for her because she's a sellout. But then, when the you-know-what hits the fan, she finds strength to do what needs to be done and save the day. The girl playing her former best friend, she's also very good. And I really felt like she'd been through a nightmare. Like, walked through the fire and somehow survived, but not unburnt. Eventually, our main character starts to show some wear and tear as well. So you can see the after and then the before. The side characters, the main character's parents, and one boy that she likes, and her favorite teacher, all do very well. She's at odds with her mom, but then again, what young woman is not at odds with her mom at some point? Her dad's kind of a spoiler, but his intentions are pure. The boyfriend, he's decent. He doesn't turn out to be a creep, and you really are rooting for them to get together at the end. The teacher, she's good too, sort of a sage. And as for the villain, aka the monster, it kind of reminds me of the creature from the Black Lagoon, mixed with Skeletor. And it was done with practical suit work and a bit of puppetry. When it wasn't in shadow, or just showing its shadow, or invisible. The effects, both digital and practical, came together to make a very intimidating creature. I legit felt like this thing was omnipresent throughout the film. Flim? Okay. It really felt like something you couldn't get away from. Almost like an Indian Freddy Krueger, only you could sleep, although you still didn't get good dreams. The atmosphere was tense, and you never knew what was going to happen. They used shadow and empty space very, very well. You never knew when the creature was going to strike, and when it did, it was always a question of whether or not the victim would survive. So yeah, overall, normally I'm not into foreign flicks. Like this one Japanese film I watched about reincarnation. It was a horror flick. It was all subtitles, and I had trouble with it until I got it on DVD and could pause and read the subtitles and then watch the program. But this one, it balanced subtitles with English fairly well, and the subtitles themselves were easy to read. So I was able to enjoy the cultural difference. So yeah, overall, this is a pretty decent way to start the Halloween season. October is like a week away, and if the rest of the October lineup is as decent as this, seeing it in the theater will be money well spent. Or wait for it to come out on streaming. Either way, it should be seen at least once. This is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, if you find a weird artifact or a weird container inside a place where death happened, for goodness sakes, leave it alone and don't take it with you!